Joseph had a dream, two actually, and in both, God showed him something unimaginable. He would rise above his brothers, and even his father and mother would one day bow before him. He was just 17, young, favored, and full of promise. But what God didn't show Joseph was the process. Sometimes, the distance between the dream and its fulfillment is paved with pain. Joseph's story begins in his father's house, clothed in a robe of many colors, a symbol of his father Jacob's special love. But that same robe stirred jealousy in the hearts of his brothers. The dreamer annoyed them, the favorite provoked them, and one day the jealousy boiled over. They stripped him of his robe, threw him into a pit, and plotted to kill him. Can you imagine? Betrayed by your own blood, rejected, abandoned, alone in a pit with nothing but the sound of dry earth and betrayal echoing in your ears. But God wasn't finished. Instead of killing him, they sold him to passing traders. Just like that, Joseph went from favorite son to a slave on his way to Egypt. And it would have been easy to believe the dream was dead, but God had only just begun. In Egypt, Joseph was sold to Potiphar, a high-ranking official in Pharaoh's court. And there, something surprising happened. God was with Joseph, even in slavery, even in a foreign land, even in pain. And because of that, Joseph prospered. Potiphar noticed the favor on Joseph's life and placed him in charge of everything he owned. Things seemed to be looking up again. But then came another blow, this time in the form of false accusation. Potiphar's wife desired Joseph. When he refused her, she lied. She screamed. She framed him. And Joseph, though innocent, was thrown into prison. Once again, Joseph had done the right thing and still suffered injustice. But God was with him there too. In prison, Joseph didn't grow bitter. He grew better. He served. He interpreted dreams. And one day he interpreted the dreams of two men who had once served in Pharaoh's court, the chief baker and the cupbearer. To the baker he gave a sobering word of judgment. To the cupbearer he gave a message of restoration. And Joseph's only request? When you are restored, remember me. But the cupbearer forgot. Joseph sat in that prison for 2 more years. Forgotten by man, but never forgotten by God. Then one night, Pharaoh had a dream. 2, in fact, just like Joseph once had. And no one in Egypt could explain them. That's when the cupbearer finally remembered the Hebrew slave who interprets dreams. They pulled Joseph from the prison. He shaved, changed his clothes, and stood before the most powerful man on earth. Pharaoh said, "I hear you can interpret dreams." And Joseph, still humble, still faithful, replied,